Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2, and this is E2E version 1.75. So last time we closed out Thaumcraft, which was a big relief, closed our Void Rift, got our Primordial Pearl, and made the last thing we needed, which was the Greater Focus. So we also made significant progress on Botania. Set up a little Botania area down here and did the Gaia fight a few times. I did, after the episode, go through and fight Gaia, I think 3 more times, the Gaia 2 fight, and I did end up getting the Ring of Odin, which was one of the ones that I think is still useful at this point in my playthrough. So this one gives you like 10 extra health. And the reason I got it was I still was sort of curious as how far you could push your hearts in this mod pack. So we got up through purple hearts, which was I think about 60 hearts, with the nutrition system of getting an extra heart every 10 unique foods that you eat. And so then we got into sort of even more hearts by having a plus 5 health from our personal beacon from environmental tech. And then now we have the Ring of Odin, which gives us even 10 more hearts. And so if we take a look down there, this was the phase that was after purple, and it's sort of a lavender, light purple. I was calling it pink, but now this, when we go to here, is even pinker. You can see it counting up there. So we went from purple to sort of a pale purple to now a pink. I think rumor has it that the next level up is white. I don't know if we can reach that in this mod pack. But yeah, we're up to, let's see, it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, let's call it lavender, and now pink. So that is 8 rows of hearts, or 80 hearts, or 160 health. So we've got plenty of health. So that was sort of cool. So I did throw the Ring of Odin on. I also bashed through some of the sort of stuff we needed to do to close out Botania. So there's a few changes to my area here. I can't remember if I had the Elven Mana Spreader, but we went ahead and made that. And upgraded this thing. Went ahead and made another mana spreader. Got our Gaia mana spreader and hooked it up to our mana pool here. So now we have these two are collecting from our Indoflames, and they were shooting into our pylons, but those are now full. We made the spark upgrades, so the spark is now dispersive. So it will, when these are active, it will shoot mana into this pool, and then the spark will disperse it to these pools if they're not full, or we can use it for making runes. And I put the Gaia spreader here because it's nice and fast for doing our rune combines. So if we take a look at what we have left in Botania, we're down to the last plant. So I went ahead and bashed out all the plants earlier tonight because, you know, it's boring to watch me playing with runes and the Petal Apothecary for an hour. So I just bashed them all out. I did bash out a couple of other things that we probably will never use. The Shard of Laputa is sort of cool in that it'll raise like a big old half dome, inverted half dome out of the ground up into the air, which is sort of cool to watch and sort of cool to do, but I don't really think I'm going to need that in this build. We might trigger it off later just for kicks and giggles. But yeah, most of the stuff we're not really going to use. I did go ahead and do the Dice of Fate, I think a total of 4 times. Most of the things involve, you know, mana and things that we don't really need. Extra damage, which we don't really need. Extra health, which we don't really need. Or, you know, extra healing. You know, things like that. So it was pretty much only the Ring of Odin that interested me. Although I do have, I think now, yeah, so I have the Ring of Loki and the Ring of Odin. I think if I get one more ring, which I got like, you know, a 50-50 chance for the next couple of fights, Since I've only got 2 more fights to do, I can combine the 3 rings into one. But again, I don't really need the Ring of Loki or the Ring of, I think the other one is Thor. So I'm just going to stick with the Ring of Odin for now, because making the Gaia ingots is not cheap. If we take a look at that. We got to have mana dust, which is 4 mana diamonds, and a bunch of elemental type dusts and mana powders and yada yada, and takes Terra Steel and mana infused ingots and 4 Gaia spirits each. It's doable, but I just really don't need the other stuff, so I'm just going to stick with the Ring of Odin, and that's pretty fun and cool. It's cool just to push the health up as far as I can. I think I have 160 health now, 80 hearts. But yeah, let's take a look here. We've basically got only this one last plant. It's one of the more complicated plants in that it has 3 of the tier 3 runes to build. So I think I already had a gluttony left over. Yes, I already had a gluttony left over, so we'll need to make a... let's go ahead and put that up here. So I have petals, I have pixie dust thanks to throwing, I believe, ender pearls through the elven trade portal. Redstone roots are easy. I have the gluttony already, so we need to make an envy and a sloth. So I thought I'd do this last combine in the last step on camera, so you guys could just see how I'm doing it. So we need 2 mana diamonds, an autumn, and an air. I don't think I have an autumn, so I pulled out the stuff for this. This is going to be fire, air, 3 leaves, and a spider eye. So that's about where we're at here. So let's see, we got 3 leaves, a spider eye, a fire, and an air. And we've got a Gaia spreader on here, so it's real fast to do these. And I took my magnet off so I wouldn't be picking up all the coal I was dropping on my Indo Flames, so it shot them everywhere. But there we've got an autumn. So now the autumn will allow us to make... What is it we're after again? I've already forgotten. Autumn and air to make sloth. So an autumn and an air and 2 mana diamonds. Alrighty, so let's see. Now we've got our sloth, and that just leaves us with, what is it, envy? Envy. Envy is going to be winter and water. And I think I already had, yeah, I already have a winter left over. So we've got winter and water and a couple mana diamonds. Throw a stone on there. Click it, and away we go. Alrighty, so now we've got, let's see, we've got our gluttony, sloth, and envy. Excellent. Let's run up to our petal apothecary and bash this flower out real quick. So what do we need here? We need, let's see, we need 4 green and a gray and a pixie dust and a redstone. 1, 2, 3, 4 gray, and my mind is all over the place tonight. So that's 4 green and 1 gray. No wonder I wasn't computing. I knew something seemed wrong there. 4 green, a gray, a redstone root and a pixie dust. And then a seed to finish it off. So we got our 3 Deadly Sin runes here, our petals, our redstone root, our pixie dust, and a seed as a capper. And there we go. I sort of bashed through this real quick, so I didn't get around to setting up any automated water refill on this. It's not really crucial. If I was going to be doing a ton of Botania, I would, maybe do something like that. But I'm basically going to be doing sort of the minimal amount to close the chapter in this particular mod pack. This mod pack has so many mods and so many ways to do things that for most of the magic, we can do things sort of easier and more to my preference and more automatable, easily automatable through technology. So I'm not going to really do a ton of stuff beyond the minimum requirements for the magic chapters. But there we go. We're done. So what else have we done here? So we've got Blood Magic and Botania and Thaumcraft and Astral Sorcery done. We are done with the magic column here. And Psi doesn't have any particular chapter, so don't have to worry about that one. Ironwood table, hooray. So we can put all this leftover garbage away. Probably don't need that anymore. So let's take a look at what I did. I did finish Blood Magic off camera. So basically all we really had left to do on Blood Magic was the last couple Tartaric gems, which are pretty simple. This one requires just a Demon Will Crystal, which is why we hadn't done it yet. And the last one's just another star, so it's nothing interesting. Boom, just another star. And the other things we had to do was an Archmage Blood Orb, which was literally as boring as putting a Gaia Spirit in there and just doing it. So that's why I sort of did it off camera. That's sort of a boring little combine there. And this guy was, again, just sort of, putting in a slate and taking it up to ethereal. And then the other one I did off camera was the Awakened Activation Crystal. Void Metal Block we've got now. Ender Stars we can do. Infused Glass. Gaia Spirit Ingot is what we were waiting for. I already showed you how we make that. I did want to sort of take a look here. Is there anything else I need to worry about? Gaia Spirit Ingots. Ultimate Crafting, what is this for? This is to make a creative mana tablet. Okay, so we're going to need 4 more Gaia Spirit Ingots. That's good to know. And that's it. So I think I have plenty of Gaia Spirits now, since I went out of my way to try and get the Ring of Odin. Oh yeah, 47 Gaia Spirits. So we are set for there. So the last thing that we had to do in Blood Magic was to really get that Demon Will. And here is actually some extra crystals. So obviously there is a lot to do with Blood Magic if you go into making all these crystals and doing a bunch of rituals and whatnot. But like I said, in this particular mod pack, I don't really feel the need to go too far into Blood Magic other than what's in the chapter. So we just needed a demon crystal. And so the quick and easy way to do that, if you're like me and just want to close the chapter and move on, is to make a demon crucible. And what you can do is you can put your Tartaric gem in there. So you can put like a Tartaric gem in here, and what it does is, if you put that in there, the Demon Crucible will slowly draw Demon Will out of your Tartaric Gem and put it into the air, if you will, of the chunk. And then as it does so, you can then also make a Demon Crystallizer, which will slowly draw that Demon Will out of the chunk's air and turn it into these crystals, which you can then break off of here. And so what we did was there are rituals to break things for you for automation. There are rituals to make this process faster. There are rituals to generate the will, which would then go into the ether or into the chunk. There's a lot of ways to do this fast and at a higher rate, and to get into the more complicated Demon Will types. So there are different types at Blood Magic. So there are the Corrosive Will and the Destructive Will and the Vengeful Will and the Steadfast Will, which can have different effects in different ways and be used for different things. And again, we're just not really sort of interested in going into that. I don't really need any of the sort of high-end armor or anything for this. We're pretty much doing fine with our Fire Dragon Steel, and we're going to be heading next into Draconic and Wyvern and Infinity Armor. And so, this kind of stuff is just not something we really need to get into. You can get into it, and I'm sure it's useful if you're more inclined towards the magic chapters. But since I'm more inclined towards the technology chapters, I've already reached a point where I'm not really needing any of this advanced blood magic stuff. So we just went ahead and did this sort of the slow and easy way. So while I was working on Botania, I created the Demon Crucible and threw a Tartaric Gem in there, and then it slowly grew crystals. So this is I let it grow up to 7 prongs. You can see here it's got a center one and then 6 around the edges. So when I break this, I will get 7 demonic crystal wills and demon will crystals, and so this is full grown. So I could go ahead and break this now. And here's the 7 demon will crystals, which I don't think I actually need any more of these for anything. Yeah, demon pylons and auras and crystallized will cartridge. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything else I'm going to need any of this for in this mod pack. So I really only needed to get the one, and that was pretty easy to do without setting up any kind of special equipment or special rituals or anything. So the only thing I had to make sure of was that the crucible and the crystallizer were both in the same chunk, so that all of the stuff that I'm putting into the air with the crucible will come out of the air with the crystallizer. Alright, Dead Horse beaten, Blood Magic done. So where are we at now? We have finished Blood Magic and Botania, and let's just sort of take a look at where we're at, sort of reassess thing. We need Awakened Draconium for the next mining level, so that's still a bit on the horizon. We need to create the ultimate crafting table to open up our bragging rights thing. So this is obviously a bit of a beast, and this is going to take some effort. So this is going to be sort of what we do after Advanced Rocketry. And then extra utilities. I haven't done the Nether Star Generator or the Rainbow Generator. Those are going to be a bit easier a bit later on, so we're just going to hold off on them for now. Same thing with the black hole storage, the black hole unit. I guess I was probably only waiting for Gaia Spirits for this. Yeah, I think I was probably only waiting for Gaia Spirits to do this quest, but I'll probably do this offline. I don't think we're going to go ahead and use these. Maybe. I am getting quite a stupid amount of, especially iron ingots. Um, yeah, up to 306,000 iron ingots. And I'm not exactly sure how much mats I'm going to need for getting into things like Draconic Evolution and Avarition and all of that in-game stuff. So I'm loath to start voiding stuff until I have a better feel for what's going on there. I should check and see if, let's see, iron is up there. Oh yeah, I haven't, that's aluminum. Where's iron? So we've almost reached the stack limit here. I've got 207 out of 208 stack limits here. So probably rather than going into storage, I might just, into deep storage, I would probably just add another thing here. In fact, I may already have some prepped. Let's see if we have, yeah, storage drawers. Oh yeah, I've already got 5 emerald ones here. So if I go here, let's throw another one of those bad boys in there. Now we can have 416 stacks, and we've only got 208 stacks of blocks of iron. So we bought ourselves some time there. But yeah, so that's where we're sort of at on the big old quest book. So that means we are now going into, let's see, RF tools. I'll probably work on this on the side. Most of the stuff we're not going to use. I would like to go to Dimensions, and yet Dimensions is the only one which I probably won't be able to build quite yet. The Dimension Builder is a bit of a bear in this mod pack. So the Dimension Builder, it requires an Infinity Catalyst and an Indist Pearl, and a Tier 6 Void Ore Miner, and yada yada yada. So the only thing that I would probably use from RF tools at this point is the one thing that I probably will not be able to make until I don't want to use it, which is this dimensional stuff. So probably going to hold off on doing too much with that until we can just close it out. And so all of the rest of the stuff I could probably just bust out real quick. And probably not use maybe some of the teleportation stuff. I haven't played with that for a long time. But yeah. And so that brings us to nuclear craft. I'll probably just bust that stuff out off camera. I don't think there's anything we're really probably going to use there, but thermal expansion, I'll probably just bust all this stuff out. All the dynamo stuff. This stuff is sort of cool. And in a mod pack where I didn't have things like nuclear craft and some of the other stuff we're using, I would like to get into them, but we're already generating 4.8 million or so, and so I don't feel like any of these dynamos are going to be much use to us, so I'll bust those out off camera. So that leaves environmental tech is mostly done. Just got to finish off a few of the things in there. So basically the next big focus is going to be advanced rocketry. So I'm going to pause the recording here, and I'm going to sort of count up how much stuff we need. So the big problem with these is that they're big multi-block machines, not too big. Anywhere from several to a couple dozen blocks, but quite often most of them require a lot of machine structures or what have you, which require a lot of elite plating. It requires signalum cell frames, things that are complicated to build. These signalum cell frames don't generally auto-craft well because they don't fill in with the auto-crafting system. the recipes don't work quite right. So you have to do some manual steps in here to get this all put together. So I'm going to count through what kinds of things we're going to need to do all of this stuff, and then get some stuff prepped up, some basic things, get some things programmed into AutoCAD crafting for making things like motors, and things that we're going to use a lot of, like input and output hatches. Get those set up in our auto crafting, and then when I come back in a moment, we will start busting out some of these machines that we need. I also got to figure out where we're going to put them. Some of these machines get pretty large. I do have 2 unused floors here, so the top floors of these 2 towers are still completely unused. So maybe we'll put some of the stuff up there. I won't really need to run ME system to it. We're not going to be building enough stuff with auto crafting and with their ME system to really warrant automating much. We're just going to be making, batches for enough to make a rocket and a space station, and then we're good to go. So I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so I'm back, and I have figured out where I want to place my Advanced Rocketry stuff, and I took a quick look at what all we might need to build, and sort of got a rough feel for the kinds of materials we're going to need. We're going to need a bunch of iron rods, so I have some of those cooking. We're going to need a bunch of steel gears, so I've got some of those cooking. One of the big things that we're going to need a bunch of is a bunch of these machine structures. So taking a look at those real quick, let's go ahead and just actually try and auto-craft them and see what we need here. As I'm typing in the wrong spot. So we're probably going to need about 40 of those at least. Redstone, iron, elite plating, iron shafts. We got most of the stuff we need. The auto crafting might chunk up when it hits maybe this step. I think there's one of these 2 steps, either the reinforced cell frame or the signalum cell frame, that doesn't quite want to auto craft and get stuck, so we might have to nudge it along. Looks like mainly the thing that we're missing is 1 rosin. So if we take a look at that, rosin is made from the thermal expansion sawmill with the resin funnel augmentation in it. So what this does is it allows us to put in certain woods and get resin out, which can then come over to the fractionating still, and resin can then be turned into tree oil with the occasional rosin. And so we're going to need one of those, but I checked real quick and didn't have any trees that worked in that. All I had was redwood, and that doesn't give us resin. It doesn't work in this recipe for resin. So I needed to, the ones that make the best are pine and spruce, and we did have a bunch of spruce saplings. So just real quick, I'll show you what I did there. Since this rosin question does come up, if you put 4 spruce saplings right on next to each other like that and hit them with a bit of this, boom, they turn into a pretty darn large sort of mega spruce, if you will. So you can see here there's a lot of wood there for us. Yeah, that's a quick way to get a lot of spruce, and that's going to be plenty for us. But I thought I would just show that for you. So that's one of the probably the easiest ways when you need to make those any rosin, is to get yourself some spruce saplings and do them up like that. And you don't need a ton, so we're going to go ahead and throw these in here. They'll start pumping through there. Hopefully we should be getting some resin here. Yes, at a decent rate. And then occasionally, as this goes through, occasionally we will get a rosin. I forget what the rate is, 50% chance here. We only needed one, so hopefully that'll be pretty quick. And we've got it. Alright, so the only thing we're missing now is the reinforced cell frame, and I think these are the ones that don't want to autocraft. So I'm going to take a moment and make a couple of these, and I'll be right back. Alright, we are back, and we have 36 machine structures. I remembered why this wasn't going through is that the reinforced cell frame requires molten lumium, and I don't have molten lumium on tap at the moment. So we'll make some more of those if we need them. But 36 ought to be enough to get us started. So if we take a look at our quest book here, precision assembler, I think this is one of the first ones we need to make because it makes some of the pieces that are required for some of our other beasties. So let's take a look here. Precision assembler, do I have that one pulled up? Yes, I do. Alright, so first of all, I guess let's see. I think I did put this into my system. Let's see what we're missing. So we're going to miss a reinforced cell frame. Oh, that's because I don't have these back in there. Shouldn't have pulled them out. Let's try that again. Alright, redstone repeater. I don't think I have redstone repeater programmed. And control and I/O circuit boards. So let's take a look at what we got to do to make those. So the precision assembler can make those once we have one, but since we don't have one yet, we need to do it this way. That's going to take some enhanced circuit boards, which we may or may not have. Let's take a look and see how much of that we can make. Not a lot on tap. So let's see here. The printed logic circuits, we can pull those up. Logic. Craft. Let's get about 12 of those. We had some circuit boards, so now we just need the enhanced circuit boards. So it's going to be 3 bronze and some redstone in our carpenter. Let's get some more bronze cooking. What are we going to need for the other one? So that one we are missing copper coil blocks and bioplastic. Doesn't look like I have those set up. I think copper coil blocks can be replaced by a mechanism piece in most recipes, so I haven't needed to make those manually. So let's take a look at how bad those are. We had enough for a couple. Hopefully that'll get her done. And bioplastic. Let's make about 4 of those. That's just sugar in a nuclear craft manufactory, I believe. So that's a piece of cake. Alrighty, so there's that one. And alright, so we're just needing now the enhanced circuit boards, which we should have some bronze now. And we'll need some redstone. And I think our carpenter is still set up over here. Yes, and it's even got some water in it. Speed it up a bit. Alrighty, that'll get us started. Once we have this precision assembler made, I think the recipe actually gets a bit cheaper. Yeah, you only need one enhanced circuit, so half as many advanced circuits and half as many printed logic once we have this bad boy built. So where we're at, we're missing the redstone repeater. I probably don't have that taught. There are so many good conduits and cables and etc. here that haven't needed to do a lot of redstone work. So yeah, we don't have that taught, but we might as well teach it real quick. This playthrough, I've been doing a pretty good job of just making sure I put everything into here. So we've got tons of stuff in our auto crafting. However, when we get to Advanced Rocketry, there are a lot of new recipes. So let's see. What happens if we do this now? Yay, start, 1, done. Excellent. Alright, so copper coils and motors we've got. And then we'll need this stuff. So start with the copper coils. I did go ahead and program that. Well, they don't have to be copper. We're going to go ahead and use the gold coils. So the coils in these are mostly... yeah, let's take a minute and talk about that. So if we look at this recipe, these are all the things that go into the multi-block. The sort of variables here are there are different types of motors. So you can see here we're flashing through the motor, the advanced motor, the enhanced motor, and the elite motor. And these basically will just have faster and faster machine speeds. And then the same thing with the gold coil. There are different coils and they also affect, I think, machine speed. But yeah, so for now, I think we're just going to go ahead and go with the gold coils and the advanced motors for most things. I do have a couple of elite motors that I got from a quest reward, so we'll use those up. But then I think we'll just go with the tier 2 on most of this stuff. Some of the high-end things here, especially the high-end elite motor, require things like a lot of titanium or dilithium. We don't have dilithium yet because it comes from the moon, and we don't have a ton of titanium yet because it's mostly mined on other planets, and it's not really crucial. You're not going to be making a lot of stuff through most of these machines here. So let's go ahead and craft a couple of these. And this just takes gold, so that's why we're going to go ahead and do that. And then if we look at motors, I think we got these 2 elite motors from a quest reward. Might as well use those up now. In the future, I'll just be going ahead and making the advanced one 1.5 speed versus 4.0 speed, because we don't really need it. But for this first one, might as well use those up. And then let's see what else we need here. We need a couple glass, and then our hatches and plugs. Glass, grab a couple of those. Hatches. Let's see, which ones do we need again? We need an input hatch and an output hatch from Vulpes library. Out the fluid, we need one of these. Let's see what we're missing. Nothing, yay. And an output hatch. Good. And then I think got to be a little bit careful because there are lots of different types of hatches and plugs here. Power input plug from Vulpes. Did I teach that? Power input plug from Vulpes, yes. And away we go there. So that might take a second to process. Hardened cell frames have to go through the Empowerer. So we've got that bad boy automated, but it is not super fast. So while we're waiting on that, let's go downstairs. I decided since these are sort of big machines, and there's several big machines, and we're not going to be using them a lot other than just to make our first rocket and space station, I decided to go ahead and just build them down here. I still have tons of room. This is mostly my ME room, so this is making ME stuff for our printed circuits and processors. And then of course we've got our processing for auto crafting. And then we have a bunch of auto crafting molecular assemblers here, and then we've got a bunch of drives here for our ME storage. But that's pretty much other than yeah, we might break into this third prong here, but this is pretty much going to contain all of my ME system. So we've got all this corner here to build stuff in. So let's go ahead and do stuff here. So we do have a holo projector. We got multiple ones of these as loot rewards. So if I shift right click here, we can pick which one we're doing. We're going to do the precision assembling machine first. So we're going to click on that. And then also, I think it's... what keys? Oh, it's like click drag. So left click drag to move up and down through this list. So you can see there's a bunch of other stuff here, much of which we won't necessarily get into. But yeah, we're going to pick the precision assembling machine. And now if we... figuring out where this is going to place stuff is always a bit of a challenge, but actually that looks just about right. So right-clicking this will give you a bunch of ghost blocks, and if you mouse over those ghost blocks, it'll tell you what goes where. It'll flash through them if there are different choices. So you can have a power input plug, a fluid output hatch. Different things can go in different places. If we look from the top here, you can see you can have a motor, an advanced motor, enhanced motor, elite motor. Here you have the coils in the middle. So this is where we're going to build this. Let's take a look and see if our... there's our power input plug. So that finishes off the quest. The other thing you can do is if you mouse over this, so you can see we've now got the precision assembly machine selected, and it'll tell you what it wants. It wants a precision assembler, it wants 2 glass, it wants 20 machine structure. It'll tell you it wants 2 of the coils of any flavor, 2 of the motors of any flavor, and then the rest of that stuff. But yeah, now that we have that, we're just going to start filling things in. We can go ahead and start with the stuff that we know where it's going to be, which is the motor. Oh. Alrighty, it moved on us. There we go. Let's get off of that. Throw down our motors. I'm not sure it matters which way they're facing. Many of these machines turn into, change their shape when you actually finish assembling them. I don't know, I can't remember if this one does or not, but we can always break it and rebuild it if we decide that it isn't looking the way we want it to. So that one has to go there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 other things that we need to do. So we got to fill in some space with some. I don't know why we need the 2 glass, but need about 4 of those, I think. So I like to go left to right on my input to output, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the input hatch there, and then the output hatch there, and then I usually put the power plug around back. Looks like that can go anywhere. And then I think the other 4 spots are just filled in with machine structure. Oh, and then one thing you got to watch out for is sometimes there are second levels on these things. Yeah, so here we go. So what I did was I hit shift and the scroll wheel up, and now it's showing me a second level. And so this is where we're going to need to put the rest of the stuff. So we're going to need 2 glass up front, and then several more machine structures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 8 machine structures, it look like. Let's just pull some more of those out. Oops. Come on. Pick up the glass. So glass, glass. And then if I go over to holoprojector, shift and wheel up again, looks like we need to cap it off with even more machine structures. And I'm hoping that is it. So if we right click on here on the precision assembler, you can see it has changed. So no, it didn't matter how we set down the coils or the motors, and it has changed its appearance. So now, other than throwing some power on here, which we will get a flux point for that, I should have some in my backpack maybe. Let's see, flux points. Here we go. I've been doing magic for so long I haven't needed to power anything for a while. Let's go ahead and put that there. Gonna put it on spin it. So now we've powered it up. Most of these also have a power button here. So you need to click it to on. So this O sort of stands for off, and then this I, or this line here, you can click on that. So now this is good to go. And so now this thing will be able to make these circuit boards cheaper than what we currently made them through the carpenter. So we've got our first machine done for Advanced Rocketry. Yay us. So let me pause here and take a look at our runtime and see if we have time to build another machine or two. Be right back. Okay, looks like we got a little bit more time in my self-imposed limit here. Let's go ahead and make the rolling machine. One of the things that's going to bite me in the butt is the cutting machine. I think takes lubricant to run, and so we'll have to actually build an entire structure just to make lubricant, which is a big waste considering how little lubricant we actually need. But for right now, let's go ahead and do the rolling machine. That'll give us a chance to make some of these boards through the new precision assembler. So if we take a look at this, I think I did go ahead and put this in here. And I like to put these in ahead of time just so it'll show me what I'm missing. And so it shows that I'm missing a reinforced cell frame and the control circuits that we're going to make through the precision assembler. So this guy is going to need me to make a bunch of aluminum, and I'm going to have to do that manually. I don't have aluminum automated at the moment, but that might have to change now that I remember how many of these we have to make. But the rest of this stuff we're pretty much good to go. Lime dye is just cactus green and bone meal, so I already had some of that lying around. We left more spruce processing. It looks like we made a couple more rosins, so that's good. So yeah, everything looks good to go. These iron shafts take a real long time through the IC2 machine that makes them. I don't have any auto crafters in it, so probably what I want to do right now is go ahead and make 12 of those. Set that up and let that run in the background while I think about this. Yeah, so let me pause here and I will get the necessary ingredients to make our 3 cards through this precision assembler, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back, and unfortunately this does require some stuff that was manually made. The circuit boards are still going through my immersive engineering engineers table. There is an automated version of that, which is a big multi-block structure, which I haven't gotten around to making and probably won't get around to making. So I just sort of calculated about how many of these I would need and bash through them. If we take a look at that recipe, the engineer's workbench. So I did have a bunch of vacuum tubes all ready to go. So I just plugged all this stuff in and made another big batch of circuit boards. Similarly, we needed some more of the refined and enhanced circuits through the Carpenter. There is a modular machining advanced Carpenter, but I haven't made that yet and probably won't. I just don't need to make enough stuff through there to make it really worth my while, I don't think. But anyway, I think we've got all the stuff we need here to bop some stuff through here, so let's go ahead and throw in our ingredients here. And you can see it plugging along. And you'll notice it moves pretty quick. We got our 4 yellow item IO circuit boards. That's why I'm not too worried about getting... This does have the elite motors in them, so that's one of the reasons it's probably fast. But it only has the gold coils in them. But even if if the elite motors are 4.0 speed, and the more normal, cheaper motors that we're going to build are 1.5, it's only going to be a half as fast. But we're not talking about a ton of stuff that we're making through here, or a super high speed, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, we need about 4 of these in there. We got a little cool animation going there. And I think I'm only going to make 2 of these blue boards, the fluid boards, because I don't think I'm going to need too many of them. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to make our rolling machine. Let's see. I think we have everything we need now. Let's take a look in here. Craft that. I suppose it helps if we actually put the stuff in our ME system. And there we go. So we are going to also need a bunch of junk to go with it. So the rolling machine. So we've gotten credit for that stuff, but we will need to build. Let's see, I think I still have enough machine structures. So I did overbuild on those. Barely. And actually we won't have enough because we're going to use some of those up to make other pieces. You do end up using a lot of these machine structures, so I probably am going to have to break and do some lumium to fill up some stuff. So let's just see how far we can get here. We're going to need a fluid input hatch and an input and an output hatch. Fluid input hatch is going to use up one of our machine structures. And then an input hatch is going to use up another. And an output hatch is going to use up another. But we actually have to have 2 of the inputs and 2 of the outputs. Alright, it says we've got everything we need here. I think we actually have to build some of this stuff. But we can at least claim our reward now. Open up a couple of loot chests here. A music disc and some coconut shrimp. File that away and forget about it. Let's get this bad boy out here. And we are making the rolling machine. So left click and drag, rolling machine. We mouse over it. Power input plug, we still need to make one of those, it looks like. Get that rolling. Let's see, what else do we need here? We're going to need, let's see, a couple of coils and a couple of motors. No, one motor. One motor, 2 coils. Two coils and a motor. We're just going to make the advanced one. Alrighty. And what else? We got a fluid input hatch. We've got 2 output. We've got 2 inputs. We've got the motor. We've got that. Alright, I think we've got everything, but now we don't have 6 machine structures anymore. We're down to only 1 machine structure, so we're going to need 5 more of those. Calcium sulfate, I need to make some more of that. And then I'll need to fill up some of these with lumium. So let me pause. I've got to turn our calcium sulfate production back on. I knew I'd need that again, so I did keep that in place. I think that's downstairs with my reactor. Yeah, so I do have my calcium sulfate production thing in here. This is the big beast. Let's see, we could turn this bad boy back on. Oops, gosh, I hate these bins. I don't use the mechanism bins very often, so I always end up right-clicking on them and putting whatever I'm holding in them. Alright, so let's see. This is doing its thing now. Melter. So we need to melt. Gosh, I've already forgotten here. Oh, sulfur. That's what we need to melt in there. We do have a bit of sulfur. There I go again. Alright. So we're melting sulfur. And then I think the other thing we need to put in here is crushed fluorite. See how we're doing on crushed fluorite. Only got 58. That's probably plenty. Throw some of that in there. So yeah, this is it's melting sulfur, and then the molten sulfur is being mixed with oxygen to make oxygen, and molten sulfur goes to sulfur dioxide. The sulfur dioxide is getting treated with even more oxygen to become sulfur trioxide. The sulfur trioxide is being reacted with water to become sulfuric acid, if I remember correctly, once we get some going. Yeah, so the sulfuric acid is then being reacted with fluorite water to become calcium sulfate. And the fluorite water is coming from crushed fluorite from our nuclear craft rock crusher, being reacted with water, so it's feeding up here to mix with the sulfuric acid to get us the crushed sulfate. So let's see what we got going here. All of this was to attempt to make what exactly? I've forgotten already. I think we need to make more machine structures. Alright, so that will be enough to probably get us going for a while on that. And we'll just let some more cook up while we're waiting. And then that just means I need to deal with my aluminum situation. Oops, we don't want to go that way. Let's teleport upstairs. So let's see, where was I making my aluminum? I think I was doing it here. And let's see. Aluminum. So all of this is to make the reinforced cell frame full. I do have 12 of these, so I just need to fill some with aluminum. And they need 576. What is that about? I think that's about 4 ingots each. So that would be 48 ingots of aluminum. Let's take a look and see if I have. I do not have aluminum auto crafted yet. the easiest way to make this? That's right, probably the tin silver alloy into, yeah, this is another reason I don't have it is because I need to have energized glowstone. I don't have any fluid ME stuff set up because I haven't really used it before, and you don't really need to use it a ton in this mod pack yet, so I don't have any of that done. So we'll need to make some more of that. So for right now, let's just go ahead and make 11 of these. So we'll put in 44 of those, and then we'll throw in 11 of those bad boys and get them cooked up. I've got no augmentation in this one. So let's see, auxiliary. Processing speed. There we go, that'll speed that up a little. That's done already. So we're just waiting on this flow beast. We've already established I'm not particularly patient, so let's accelerate that bad boy a bit. Alrighty. And now maybe we can craft a few more of these. Yes, alright. So we needed 5 more of them to build our rolling machine. Pick a spot for this bad boy. That ought to about do it. Is that really how this is built? Looks a little wonky. One of the things that annoys me about Advanced Rocketry is that it's like just a little all weird. So this one I think requires that its power input is in the front. Yeah, and then it's got a fluid input hatch. The starting and stopping one is here. The input hatches are there. Yeah, so we're going to want to move this over a little bit. This is where you put things in. It has 2 inputs, almost like 2 channels. And then it has 2 outputs over here. Yeah, so we'll do it this way. I wish the plug wasn't in front. But we do what we gotta do. So throw that there. The output hatches go here and here. The fluid input hatch goes there. The input hatches go here and here. Power input plug goes there. And then it looks like the rest is, oh no wait, we got a motor in back. And a coil. The 2 coils go over here. And then the rest is the machine structures, which should be built by now. Yay. So we need 6 of these. So one problem with these ghost blocks is that sometimes you have to break them to get onto the inside. Alright, I think that's about it. Right click on the thing here. Alright, we're good to go. Turn it on. We need to give it some power. Alrighty. And so now the recipes on these bad boys. Let's see. Rolling machine. Uses. Oh yeah, this is the one where we need some lubricant. So this is a good stopping place because I'm going to have to make some immersive petroleum lubricant, which means making a distillation tower. So we're going to be making diesel and gasoline and lubricant and whatnot. Not that we have any use for gasoline or diesel, and we probably only need a few buckets of lubricant for our entire playthrough. But we got to make this whole huge tower, distillation tower, to accomplish that. So yeah, that's something we can get into next time. But yeah, we made a good start here. Got our first couple of machines. The rolling machine is good because it makes a bunch of plates that we're going to need for a bunch of stuff. So it is good to get that one up and going. So that's going to be it for this time. Next time we'll make a distillation tower, or I'll show you the one I built. It's pretty basic, and we're just going to need it for, like, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 buckets of lubricant will be all we ever need ever. So probably make that, probably make a few more machines offline, and then we'll take a look at how far I got, and maybe next time we'll just start working on building a rocket. There's not a ton of stuff. You've sort of seen how the Advanced Rocketry works now. You've sort of seen me go through it. So now it's mostly just grinding out these machines. We got another several machines to build, and a distillation tower for lubricant, and then we are good to go to build a rocket and launch it and go to the moon. So that'll be the next exciting stuff, so we might just skip ahead to that. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. And give me a like if you are enjoying this video series. Thanks. Bye.